started off with $1,000 5 years ago. And now, my dream guitar showed up in the mail. Trade up until you make it. You know, my UPS guy, every time he sees the box, he never goes, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" He just knows I'm gonna text him because, well, he knows me. Anyone who appreciates New Guitar Day knows. Make friends with your UPS guy, your USPS guy, or your FedEx guy. So that, you know, when it's coming, you don't have to chase it across the world. You're not like, why is it going to Hawaii and I live in Boston? That's happened to me before. Well, today, I messaged Arthur, and like some guitar magic, within 5 minutes I heard outside the door. He hadn't even got my text message yet. I don't really buy guitars anymore because, well, it just doesn't seem like I can justify it to the lady. But anytime I can trade for something that I want, that I've been dying for, oh, it makes me so happy. Which leads me to say that first off, cash is king. So if you're selling a guitar, everyone always wants cash first because you can always buy something else. But when someone has something delicious, like what's in the box, and they want to trade it, I'll bite. And I made friends with my buddy Paul, who traded me this guitar, which, let's just start with the genesis of how this all happened. About 5 years ago on Reverb, I bought myself a custom 22 for $1,000. It was a non-10 top. Not dissimilar to this guy, kind of tortoisey shell looking with the birds. And eventually, I ended up trading it for an Echo Park, which is this bougie guitar company. They sell guitars for $5,000 or $6,000. Joe Perry has one, Billy Gibbons has one. It's this gold-looking junior thing. I didn't like it. I thought it played like poo-poos. I thought it looked like poo-poos. And certainly for that price, it was only trade bait for me. I actually traded it for an Ice-T Burst 1954 reissue. Beautiful custom shop, 8.5 pound beauty. In fact, Paul said it perfectly. It's so ugly, it's beautiful. Because me, I like the opulent guitars. I like the ones with the flame. I like the ones that have the ridiculous mollusk, the abalone, the mother of pearl, the gold, the silver, the craziness. Not the reissues, like 1954. 1950. If I see another 1959 reissue, I'm going to literally yawn myself to death. It's not that they're not cool guitars. I just am a little bit left of center myself, so I like the strange ones. So I said, Paul, listen, I got this beautiful 1954 reissue. If you're looking to sell it faster, this will be an easier move. And it had bare knuckle pickups in it. It had some aftermarket stuff, but didn't affect the original value because all the parts were in there. We didn't maim it. So Paul said, okay, I'll trade you what's in this box. Straight up. Started with $1,000. Got a custom 22. Traded the custom 22 for the Echo Park. Sat on that Echo Park, manifested this 1954 Les Paul reissue, which, by the way, I got $1,000 with it. So now, my original $1,000, I have a 1954 custom shop reissue, an Ice-T Burst with extra bare knuckle pickups for free. Not opening this was one of the hardest things I've had to do in my entire life. But I haven't done a lot of unboxing videos on this channel. It's pretty obvious what's in here. And by the way, Paul messaged me and said, Benny, when you trade with me, can you throw in a little surprise? I'm like, what do you mean, Paul? But instead of being that guy that's like, what do you want from me, Paul? I threw in a 1980s photo of Randy Rhoads, you know, one of those you got in the back of a head shop back in the day, and then a Steel Panther pick, a pick from Godsmack, and a pick from Jason Becker. And I said to myself, between all of those picks and a pick of Randy Rhoads, pun intended, how could Paul not be happy? So let's see what Paul did for me here. Oh my God, I'm so excited. The other thing I like about this is that Paul actually used the exact same box and packing that I did. Because you want to know what? Have you ever tried going to a FedEx store and buying a box like this? They're like $7,000. There we go. You for a later day. Oh. Oh, Paul. You know, I already have one of these. But the irony is I don't use pedals. For those that can't see, my buddy Paul has been kind enough to give me a Digitech whammy. Now, I don't really use pedals. But if you go and look at my rig over there, the only pedal I have is an RV3 from Boss and a Digitech whammy. So this will go in my other room, my amp room, and I shall dime bag my way to happiness with this guitar afterwards. Paul, what a rad thank you. I appreciate this, dude. You rock. And let me tell you, packing peanuts and anything that pops, you would think that they were moving heroin inside of them for the prices. I just sound like my grandfather. I remember when I could go to a movie for 5 cents and it was a double feature. Ladies and gentlemen, the meat and potatoes. So you're saying, what do you trade the R4 for? And by the way, that was a nice guitar with a lot of case candy. And it's a very valuable guitar. And I hope that Paul moves it and makes a lot of money, because the other thing is, I don't feel bad for people having success with my instruments, because once they're out of my life, they're yours. Okay, as you can see, we're talking from the custom shop, ladies and gentlemen. Behold. Oh, guys. And let me tell you one thing about Paul. I love this guy already. But man, he takes crappy pictures. Because nothing that he sent me showed the beauty of this 2000 custom shop Les Paul Elegant in peacock finish. I love that. Peacock? There's a peacock Les Paul? Oh yeah. And it's a light one. I like light Les Pauls, because for those that don't know, the Les Paul Elegant is super chambered. By super chambered, I mean literally most of this is completely Paul. Most of this is completely, look at that. Most of this is completely chambered. But the reason I wanted this guitar is I traded with my buddy Jack, by the way, for this Les Paul Elegant, because I love Les Paul Elegants, and apparently I love trading Les Paul Elegants because this is one of my favorite. Look at the top on this. I mean, guys, which top do you like better, the peacock or the quilt? I love these guitars is because they're just a little bit weird. They have an ebony fretboard instead of a rosewood fretboard, but yet they have the standard trapezoid inlays, but in abalone. This one's in great condition. There's almost no belt buckle mark. You can see my Martin in there. Ooh, look at that. It's got this nice green color to it, but it's got the custom shop logo. It's just a beautiful guitar. I guess my dream has always been to have a wall of Les Pauls that bring me right to the beach. That's it. I wanted to be able to see all the colors of the beach. And I've talked about it on this channel before, about how I just like blue guitars or bluish guitars. Kind of like my buddies Kevin and Bob, who are constantly trying to one-up each other with who's got the coolest new blue guitar. Well, Kevin and Bob, feast your eyes on the Peacock with its 57s and Just this beautiful, beautiful mojo. Let's just reiterate. Started with $1,000. Reverb. Custom 22. Traded Custom 22 for Echo Park. Traded Echo Park for a 1954 custom shop reissue, an iced tea burst, plus $1,000. Now I'm even. Trade the 1954 for the Les Paul Elegant. And you want to know what? On paper, the 54 is maybe even worth a little bit more than that. But how often do you see a Les Paul with a color this beautiful? This strange teal, dark Miami Beach green sea color. Because starting with the total sand, we have this Les Paul Allwood. Look at this beautiful baby. This is the sand, this is the beach. And then from that, we go to the Seafoam Classic, kind of the surf color. And if you notice, there's just these flecks of beautiful. Do you see the sand in there? So you got a little bit of the ocean, got some sand. And then we have the Seafoam Fade. I think the name says it all. You got the surf green, the little bit of the sand into the actual ocean. Not done. And from the Seafoam Fade, we go into the Caribbean Blue. Oh, it's like the beautiful waters of the Caribbean. And then lastly, thanks to Paul, we go to the deep, dark, murky ocean of the Peacock Elegant. So just remember, you might just start off with $1,000, but if you try hard enough, you can find the best guitar in the sea. Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?